Hey guys, so today I wanted to cover what types of seventh chords there are. This can come in handy if you are doing harmonic analysis or if you just want to know what type of chord you have whenever it's clearly a seventh. So that being said, I'm going to go over two different ways you can figure it out. I typically use the chart method myself because I'm a little bit stronger with the triads, but if you don't have your triads memorized yet, that's okay. You can use the second method, which works just as efficiently and just involves a little bit more counting, but it's just as easy. So the first thing to note is that you want to try to have either your instrument or a piano on hand. You can either use a printout of a piano, or I like to go to virtualpiano.net whenever I'm doing these things online, because you can also play around with it and listen to the way that each one of these sound. So let's go ahead and start with the chart method, and we're going to look at a dominant seventh. So a dominant seventh involves a major triad with a minor seventh. So let's start with the key of C major, because obviously that's the easiest, no sharps, no flats. So we know that a C major triad is C, E, G. And then of course in the key of C minor, the seventh is a B flat. And since this has a minor seventh on the top, we are going to use the B flat instead of the B natural. And this sounds like this. Now let's move on to a major seventh. A major seventh consists of a major triad with a major seventh on the top. So a C major triad is C, E, G, and then in the key of C major, the seventh is a B natural. So that sounds like this. For a minor seventh, it consists of a minor triad with a minor seventh. So, of course, you know a C minor key contains a B flat, E flat, and an A flat. So whenever we're doing our triad, we are going to use C, E flat, and G flat. And then of course in the key of C minor, like I said, there is a B flat, E flat, and an A flat. So instead of being a B natural, we're going to use that B flat once again. So that sounds like this. Now moving on to a half diminished seventh. A diminished triad, if you don't already know, is a minor triad, but instead of lowering just the third, you also lower the fifth. So your C stays the same, your E is lowered to an E flat, your G is lowered to a G flat, and there you have a diminished triad, and then you want to have a minor seventh on the top. And once again, in the key signature of C minor, your seventh is a B flat. So this is what a half diminished seventh sounds like. And finally, we come to a fully diminished seventh. This consists of a diminished triad with a diminished seventh. So once again, our diminished C triad is C, E flat, and G flat. And a diminished seventh will not be lowered a half step one time, but actually two. So instead of lowering that B natural to a B flat, we lower it twice to a B flat flat. And no, we do not call that an A, because an A does not belong in a C seventh chord anywhere. So this is what that one sounds like. Okay, so once again, if you are not super strong with your triads, that's okay. This second method also works the same, and I'm only going over the key signature of C today, but obviously either one of these can be applied to any key signature as long as you know which flats and sharps are in each. So, that being said, let's start with our major seventh. I'm not sure why I switched these two, but we're still going to go over all of them. So a major seventh consists of a major third, a minor third, and then another major third. A major third consists of 4 half steps, and a minor third consists of 3 half steps. And whenever you're counting these steps, do not count the note that you start on. So, starting, of course, in the key of C major, we're going to do a major third first. So we start with a C, and then not including that C, let's count up 4 half steps because this is a major. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you're left with a C and an E. And then we wanted to count up from our E 3 half steps because our next step is a minor third. So the E, not including the E whenever you count, 1, 2, 3. So now we have a C, an E, and a G. And then we want to count up a major third, which is, once again, 4 half steps. Not including that G, we're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we are left with a C, E, G, B natural. And that is a major 7th chord. Now let's move on to a major minor dominant 7th chord. This one consists of a major third, a minor third, and then another minor third. So starting on a C, obviously we want to count up 4 half steps because our first step is a major third. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we end up with a C and an E. Now we want to count up a minor third from that E. 1, 2, 3 leaves us with a G as our third note. So now we have a C, E, G. And then we want to count up a minor third from that G. 1, 2, 3 leaves us with a B flat as our 7th. 1, 3, 5, 7. Whoops, didn't mean to hit that 7 twice. But that's how the major minor dominant 7th sounds. Now let's move on to a minor 7th. So starting on a C, our first jump is a minor third. So we're going to count up 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. So now we're left with a C and an E flat. Next we want to count up a major third, which is 4 half steps. So not including that E flat, we count 1, 2, 3, 4. Which leaves us with a C, E flat, G. And finally we've got a minor third. We are going to count up 3 half steps from G. 1, 2, 3. So that leaves us with a total of C, E flat, G, B flat. And that sounds like this. Now let's move on to a half diminished 7th chord. We're going to start on a C once again. And since our first leap is a minor third, we are going to count up 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. So now we have a C and an E flat. Now from that E flat, we're going to count up another minor third. 1, 2, 3. So now we have a C, E flat, G flat. And now from that G flat, we want to count up a major third, which is 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're left with a C, E flat, G flat, and B flat. Okay, sorry, I wanted to wait for that to die out. Now we are moving on to our fully diminished 7th. This consists of 3 minor third leaps. So this is going to be fairly easy to remember. And if you want to write these down, you are welcome to. Not just the formulas, but if you want to write down the notes as we go over them, that's okay. So we're going to start on the C. And then, of course, we count up 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. So now we're left with a C and an E flat. Now you count up another 3 half steps from that E flat. 1, 2, 3. And then we count up another 3 half steps from that G flat. 1, 2, 3. Oops. There we go. So now for our fully diminished 7th chord, we are left with a C, E flat, G flat, B flat flat. And once again, we do not call that an A in this case because an A does not fit into any type of C 7th chord. Well, I hope this helped. Feel free to check out virtualpiano.net. Really handy if you don't have your own keyboard or your own piano. And if you have any questions,